Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So I am just sitting down to edit a vlog for YouTube, and I figured I would show you guys how I do that, my video editing process, and everything I have learned throughout my video making journey so far. So the first thing I do is just get my work area all set up. So I try to clear my desk of anything that isn't related to editing so I can just have a lot of space around me. And then I always just have a glass of water because I'll be sitting here for quite a while and I want to stay hydrated. And look at this cutest little drink coaster. It's a rug. My roommate's mom got that for me for Christmas and I just think they're so cute. And then I have my MacBook Air, which is what I use to edit on. I have an external hard drive so I can transfer all of my video onto this and clear up my SD cards. And then I have the SD card that I recorded the footage on. So the first thing I do is get my external hard drive plugged into my laptop. And then I put my SD card in. And then I have those two files popped up right here. So I'll just go ahead and open up the external hard drive. And I'm going to create a new folder for this project. And I'm just going to name it Day in the Life Lyft Driver. I'll go ahead and open up my folder and go onto the SD card and grab all the footage that goes along with this video. So I just drag all of my footage on the SD card into the external hard drive so that they're stored on here and I can use the SD card again. So while all the clips are transferring from my SD card to the hard drive, I'm going to go ahead and open up Premiere Pro, which is the program that I use for editing. And since I'm a student, I just have the Creative Cloud student subscription. I'm pretty sure it's about $60 a year and you get all the Adobe apps included in that, so Lightroom, Photoshop, Premiere Pro, all of those. So once I have Premiere Pro open, I just start a new project and then I just name it whatever I want. For this one, I'm gonna call it Day as a Lyft Driver. And the video that I am going to be editing right now will be up before this one. So if you watch that one, you'll know what this is about. If you haven't, go back and check it out. Now you can see I have Premiere Pro open and all of my footage transferred over from the SD card to the hard drive. So I'm just going to close out of the SD card and eject that. And then I'm just going to import all of the media into Premiere Pro. So you just double tap here, find the folder that I want, and select all of my footage. And then just click import. Okay, so all my footage has been imported to Premiere Pro now, so I'm just gonna drag and drop all of it onto my timeline. So now you can see I have all the footage down here in the timeline, and it's time to start the editing process. So the first thing I always do when I'm editing a new video is watch it through or just scrub through and cut and delete any long pauses, any blank sections, any time there's like a whole clip I'm not going to use, or if I made a mistake and I had to redo the entire thing, I'll delete the bad clip. And I tend to start by going through and getting rid of like the big chunks, the big mistakes, and then I'll go back through again and cut out any just minimal things that just don't look good or sound good, and just anything to help make it more cohesive. And a lot of times with the big gaps, it's helpful to just look at your audio and you can see there'll be a big spot where you're just not talking. And pretty much unless it's like B-roll or some cinematic type thing, I always know that that's just gonna be a long pause where I just couldn't think of what I was trying to say or something, and that's gonna all get cut out. So I'll just go in, cut on both sides, and then just delete the middle part of it. So that's what I'm gonna do right now, and I will give you guys a closer look at how I do that. Okay, so right away with this first clip, I had to cut like the beginning part of it because it was just me getting set up and getting in the right position. I tend to over record, so now I just have a lot of extra footage that does nothing for the video. So I'm just gonna cut that out, grab that whole rest of the clip and just delete it. And that's what I'm gonna just keep going through and doing right now. So that is my initial step to editing, and this takes quite a while. So I'm gonna go ahead and just keep working on this, and I will check back in with you guys when I move on to the next step of editing. Okay, so I just finished my first step of editing, and I also sped up any clips that I wanted to keep in, but I just wanted to go by quickly, and muted any audio that I know I for sure don't want in the video. So I've got my video down from, I think it was at like 37 minutes with all the footage, and now it's right about 15 minutes. So the footage I had for this video really wasn't too bad. There wasn't that much, and I didn't have to cut very much. Sometimes I'll have like an hour and 30 minutes of footage that I have to cut down into about 15 to 20 minutes. So this one really wasn't too bad. The next thing is I noticed some areas that I want to do voiceovers in. So I'm gonna go ahead, write out some script for that, and then do the voiceover. So I just wrote this note out on my phone, and that is just for one portion of my voiceovers. I think I have maybe 3 sections that I want to do a voiceover for, but I just take it one step at a time. I go find the first clip, write out what I want to say, and then I record that, and then I move on until I finish everything. So since I have this one written out now, it's time to record it, so I will show you how I do that. I like to put in my cord headphones, plug them into my laptop, and I just hold like the mic piece away from my mouth, and then I just speak into that. I don't have an actual mic, but I think using this helps eliminate some of the background noise. And then right in Premiere Pro, you can just set up one of the audio lines as a voiceover, and you can select where you want the voiceover to start in your timeline and where you want it to end, and it'll give you a countdown so that you know when you have to start speaking and when you have to be done speaking by. I put in my wired headphones, and then I just keep this one out of my ear so that I can hold it away from my mouth while I record. I read something that you should hold the mic like 7 inches away from your mouth or something like that, so that you don't hear the tongue like clicking noises. I used to get those noises all the time, and it was so irritating to me. But since I started doing that, it's so much less noticeable. So that was a huge tip that I found just somewhere on the internet. So then, like I said, right on the timeline of Premiere Pro, you can do your voiceover. So they have this little mic button. When you hold over it, it says voiceover record. And if you right click just in this gray area here, you can go over to voiceover record settings. And this is where it'll show you the pre-roll for 3 seconds and post-roll for 2 seconds. And then up here you can name the audio if you want to keep all of your voiceovers organized. And then just hit close. And then you want to scrub over and find where you want the voiceover recording to start. And then you want to go ahead, scrub over and find where you want the voiceover to end, and then hit the mark out. And that's so it knows when to give you those countdown cues. So once I'm all set up, I'll just put my phone so I can see what I wrote out, just set that down, and then I will hit the voice record button and start recording. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I recently got approved to be a Lyft driver, so I thought it would be fun to show you what that entails. And yeah, that's all I do for my screen recordings. Pretty simple. Sometimes it just comes out sounding way too scripted, so you have to try again and just try and get like actual emotion into it. But I've definitely gotten better at it. So my third step in editing my videos is to go through and color correct my footage. Typically I do a little something to just about every clip. It's nothing major, usually just fixing like brightness, or if something's really orange, I like change the tone of it a little bit, and that's pretty much it. So with this, I just start at the beginning of my footage and I go all the way through. So my first clip is just a little bit dark, so I'm gonna wanna brighten that up. And all I do is come over to the right side and I go to Lumetric Color. And I go to basic correction, and then this is where You can change the temperature and tint if it's too orange, too green, too red. And then you have the exposure and all the tone. And then sometimes I'll go into creative and just do a bit of vibrance or saturation. But that is pretty much all I ever do. So with this first clip, I'm going in basic correction, and I'm just gonna turn up the exposure first. And with Premiere Pro, they have this little like FX button, and if you click it, it'll show you what it looks like before your edits and then after. And sometimes I just slide these around and just see what happens and see if I like the effect or not. With this particular clip, if I do too much, it's just gonna be grainy because it was such low lighting. But I can bump up the shadows a little bit to help bring out more light. And then I'll check and see if I want to do the vibrance or saturation. And really, vibrance doesn't do anything here. And saturation really doesn't do much either, so I'm just going to leave those alone. And then I'll just like scrub through the rest of the clip and make sure it works for that entire clip. Sometimes the lighting changes within one clip and you have to like split it in half, color correct one, and then do the other. But this one, honestly, it's really short. It's nothing special of a clip, so this is fine. I could also click on the white balance selector and click on something white and see if it thinks that anything needs to be changed, and it's putting it really green. I don't like that, but I will leave some of the blue that it did. I think that's good enough for that clip. So once I have everything color corrected, my next step is to go through and correct all the volume and make it so that all the clips have basically like the same volume level. And this is probably going to be the last thing I do tonight, and I still have a few days before I need to upload this, so I will just continue editing tomorrow. But I will finish the volume right now. So this is again something I just learned from Googling and watching videos. So what I do to make sure that my volume is the same throughout all my clips is I go into my effects and I search dynamics, and then I just drag that onto the audio that I want to change. So then I play the clip and I watch the side right here, and I see where the lowest point is that these bars ever reach while I am talking. So for this clip, I would say the lowest it ever gets around is about -22. So I go over to the left and I click edit underneath dynamics, and where it says threshold, I would change this to -22 because that's the lowest the volume got to. And then I go down to where it says makeup and I'm going to put 15. And then you just want to make sure you check limiter and check compressor. And then when you play it back, you can hear the difference. It's much louder, much more clear, and honestly, I don't exactly know what I'm changing when I do that. I just watched a video and that's what the person said to do, and I tried it and it's worked out for me really well. All right, good morning guys. It's actually the next day now and I'm about to get back to editing. So now I'm gonna go ahead, add in my intro and outro, and then I'm gonna go through and add any graphics and transitions and effects that I want. So all my videos have the same intro and outro that I just made myself, and I just save them as their own file so that I can throw them into any video. And then as far as transitions and effects, I pretty much just use like a slide transition or something like that if I'm cutting from different time periods in the video. And then sometimes I'll put words over if it's not something that I want to voice over, but there's still something that I want the viewers to know at that moment. So once I find the place that I'm gonna put the intro, I just come over here and I grab the clip while holding Command Option, drag it over to my timeline, and snap it in where I want it to go. Alright, so now you can see I have my intro in. Just scroll over, and there it is right there. So now I just have to go to the end and add in my end screen. And then same thing, just grab my end screen and drop it in. And then I'll just add a bit of a black video to the end so that the end screen can be a little bit longer. So there we go, we've got the end screen with a black video afterwards. So now, like I said earlier, I'm just gonna go through and add my transitions and any graphics that I want. So at this point, basically all of the editing is done. The last step before exporting it is just to add music, which actually takes me such a long time because I'm so picky trying to find the right song, and I usually have 2 or 3 different songs in my videos. And I use the website Epidemic Sound to get my music. You have to pay for it, but all the music is copyright free, so you can use any of it on your YouTube videos and not have to worry about it. So I just pull up Epidemic Sound, and here it shows you recommendations based on what I've already used in videos or what I've saved. And then it also shows me tracks it thinks I would like, and then it has all the different categories. And if I go to mine, I have also created a YouTube playlist where I save any tracks that I think would be good in my videos. So now I just take some time and listen to a lot of tracks and rewatch the parts of my video that I want the music in, and just make sure that I find the right fit for that spot. Okay, so I finally finished adding in all the music. I think I ended up putting in 3 songs to this one, so you can see it right here on the bottom. That's the music. So now the last step to editing this video is just to export it. So I have some specific settings that I use for the export that, again, I just figured out by Googling and watching other people's videos on how to do it. Okay, so first I just make sure that my project is saved, and then I'll go File, down to Export, and then click Media. And then for format, I leave it at H.264, and then the preset, I have one saved. I just named it YouTube Custom with VPR2, so I just use that. And then I name it whatever I want it to be. So all my settings, I have export video, export audio. The width is 1920 by 1080. I have the frame rate at 23.976. And then down in the bitrate settings, I do the VBR2 pass, and this just makes the video higher quality. And then I have the target bitrate at 16 and the max at 20. The 2 pass helps it just be a lot better quality and less pixely. And it does take longer because the export has to go through the video 2 times rather than just once. So my exports, and again, this could be because my laptop is not running the best right now, but my exports do take hours to do. So I have to time my exports and just know that I need to do it at least the day before I want to upload. And then besides that, I'm pretty sure nothing else is really too different. So I'll just kind of scroll through and show you what mine looks like. But I don't really remember changing anything else. So that's my export settings, and then I just go down to the bottom and hit export. So first it goes through all of the audio files that you have on here. This doesn't usually take too long. And then the encoding is where it starts to export the actual media. And this is the part that takes quite a while. As you can see, it's not even moving off of 0% yet. So since this takes hours to do, what I like to do in the meantime is just go ahead and set up everything else for the video that I need to do. So I will create a thumbnail, I'll create the title, the description, and all of the tags for the video, and just have that all ready to go. So when this is done, I can put them all together and then either upload the video right away if I'm ready, or schedule the post for the date and time that I want. So that is how I edit my videos right now using Premiere Pro. So everything I've learned how to do is just self-taught and from doing my research. If you guys have any tips on how to better use Premiere Pro, I would love to hear them. And I hope you also found this video helpful. Maybe if you haven't ever used Premiere Pro before, or you just want to start making and editing videos, this could just help you get some basics and get started. And if you didn't watch the video that I was editing in this one, go back and check that out and see what it is like to drive for Lyft in South Florida. Alrighty guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Bye guys.